second straight class of 1992 graduate to join us at this year's athletics banquet. Fittingly, as we celebrated our men's cross country and men's swimming championships teams this evening, we have an alum from both teams back at Maritime for his alumni reflection. As a member of the Maritime men's swimming team, Captain Andrew N. Murphy excelled in the breaststroke event, setting the school record for 100 meters as a sophomore, and followed it up, breaking the records for 100-yard, 200-yard, and 200-meter breaststroke during his junior season, with 3 of those records still standing today. Since graduating from Maritime, the New Jersey native now holds a master's license and has worked on tugs since the time he left Rogg's Neck. Tonight, we are very thankful to have Captain Murphy here, as he is joined by his wife Chrissy and children Drew and Maggie. At this time, I would like to ask Andrew Murphy to take the podium for his alumni reflection.
A round of applause for Sean. Anybody who's ever spoken in front of a crowd knows what a tough time he had tonight. Good evening. I hate to disappoint you, but I did not just spend a year in space with NASA. No, actually, I'm kind of glad that Scott Kelly's not here, because I would hate to eclipse his record of being the longest person in space with the fact that I am currently the record holder of 3 breaststroke records here at the SUNY Maritime College. As I say, I swam my 4 years here, ran cross country 2 or 1, I think. It's been so long ago, I have a hard time remembering. I now work at Rheinauer Transportation here out of New York for the last year and a half, and have worked on tugs since graduation. As I said before, I currently still hold 3 of the school records here at breaststroke. It was 4 until just recently, on February 21st, a mug named Nate Marino. Nate. Nate swam a 1 minute, 0.72 seconds, beating, which for the 100-yard breaststroke, beating my record of 1 minute, 0.92 seconds by 18/100ths of a second, which was, I set 1 day shy of 25 years prior to him, and approximately about 7 or 8 years before Nate was even born, which is a fact I'm having a hard time grasping. So I take this time to request a round of applause for Nate. Congratulations. I'm gonna have to set him up for like a pizza of the week club or something, so that see if he can put on some pounds. My swimming career was in the dark ages, before we had electronic timing, before we had the beautiful AstroTurf up on the field, when we still used Lorient Sea to get across the pond to Europe. And I have been back a few times since graduation for radar renewals, training, and a couple of homecomings when I was able to make it. So I have witnessed the amazing changes and marveled at the improvements that the school has gone through. But some things do not change, apparently, because on one visit a few years back, I noticed the name of a professor on the fort, the office door on the fort, that I knew very well. Only I did not have him as a professor when I was here, but he was a classmate of mine and a fellow swimmer, and that is Professor Pete Vecchio. Now because Pete entered Maritime College back then at a ripe old age of about 25 or 26, I think. 25. Very old for us. He was the old man back then. He was sort of banished to the outside slower lanes of 1 and 6. But his dedication to the sport, to the team, and to the school was amazingly steadfast, and is one of the things that also has not changed in 25 years. Only now he's been banished outside the pool altogether into the position of head coach. So when I was able to meet up with him after seeing his name on the office door at the Fort, it was also apparent what else had not changed in 25 years was his quickness to smile, his warm demeanor, and his great affection for this school and the cadets here. It was great to catch up with him and hear about how the team was doing, the increase in participation, huge squad this year. We only had maybe 12, you guys, that's crazy. And of course, I still check up to see if my record still stood. Because I knew, as all records go, it was just a matter of time before they would be broken. 10 years went by, then 15, then 20, just waiting for someone like Nate to finally break them. After 25 years, I'm happy to relinquish them and to finally have invested, and I'm proud for Nate, as I was of myself so long ago. I was truly honored when Pete asked me if I would be willing to reflect here tonight on my time here at Maritime College, my involvement in athletics, and how they enriched my time while here, as well as how they have influenced my life since. And it did cause me a bit of a chance to reminisce a bit of my days spent here at school, in swimming, and my life at sea since, and how they are all actually intertwined a bit. When I came to Maritime that fateful dewy early August morning of IDO week, and I watched the IDOs march out single file. I don't know if they still do this today, but they marched out all onto the quad, and they turned and they charged us, screaming. And I thought maybe I had made a very big mistake. But later that fall, and after Indoc and settling into the school year, swimming and Maritime College and the Cadet Corps and athletics gave me the structure I needed at the time, and a chance to redefine myself as well. Because I was a little bit of a late bloomer in high school, and while I did swim, I was still fairly scrawny and hardly what anyone would consider a jock. But coming to Maritime let me reinvent myself and come into my own by becoming involved in student government clubs and finding my competitive edge in swimming, where I learned to thrive and push myself through competition. But as you all well know, athletics there's just so much more to it than just the physical aspect. There's the camaraderie that being part of a team brings, learning how to allocate your time, discovering how to support others, learning how to motivate others and myself, learning how to follow and eventually even how to lead, figuring out how to win, and yes, experiencing even how to lose gracefully and to accept it. Because even though I did achieve one of my goals of breaking the school records, I never made it to NCAA Division III Nationals. But even that was a lesson, a learning experience, even though I probably didn't appreciate it at the time. So here I am to point out how enriching athletics were to me, and I hope you all continue on taking advantage of as fully as possible and give it your all, and hopefully come away with similar wonderful experiences and a few life lessons of your own. And you don't need to break any records, and you don't even need to win. The fact that you are all here willing to participate and dedicate your time is something that you will take with you when you walk out that gate. Whenever I'm asked about what I do for a living, usually by people not in the maritime world, and I tell them I steer a tugboat, it's usually met with a bit of fascination and the idea that it must be very exciting. But I have to dispel their notion and tell them, inform them that it is mostly not. I tend to use the line that my job is hours and hours of boredom followed by moments of heart-stopping stress. Sometimes hours alone steering a straight course, sometimes days at a time. It takes a certain mental fortitude and dedication and drudgery to overcome that boredom and drudgery and remain focused on the overall picture of transporting large vessels from point A to point B at a speed of about in my world on tugs about 10 knots. So it's pretty slow. Little did I know at the time when I was here that involved in swimming how well it would prepare me for my chosen career upon graduation. Because let's face it, swimming is not a very exciting sport to train in. Swimming the same laps back and forth, the same 25 yards over and over again, 2 hours a day, 6 days a week is a lesson in monotony. Yes, the lessons were exciting, but the practices took the same mental focus that my job entails today, which remains not becoming complacent with familiar routes, training to overcome adversity, and training to bring out your best so that if, or I dare say when, the moment arrives, you may overcome all the challenges you may face. Because instead of the excitement being a race in a pool, it may be something even more intense, such as a close quarters situation, a shipboard fire, or something even worse. So while you are there practicing at your chosen sport and may not understand the reasoning for all the boring drills, the boring conditioning, the boring training, you are actually not just learning the skills and honing your abilities in that sport, but you're actually learning traits that you may very well need later in life. So here I am 25 years later, reflecting and looking upon you all. I see reflections in you as well, because seeing you all out here, all of you here, I am reminded of myself. I'm reminded of my team, my classmates, some of whom are sadly gone forever. I'm reminded of victories and of defeats, but in the end, of great times. As well as, I also see all the potential in all of you, and the possibilities you all have, and I even ponder what challenges you may face. I'm also reminded that time is indeed passing, which then reminds me to enjoy my life fully, to honor every day, to love, to work hard, to seek happiness, to continue to challenge myself. And I try and follow the advice of Christopher Hitchens, and I live my life every day as if I don't know enough, as if I haven't understood enough, as if I can't know enough, and that I only operate hungrily in the margins of potential wisdom and knowledge in future generations like yours. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'd urge you to do the same. Discover what is good, what is beautiful, what is noble, what is pure, and what is true. And not 25 years from now, not after graduation, not after this semester, tomorrow, tonight. Seize this wonderful opportunity that this womb of society offers, this college education, and yes, this great athletic program. And take advantage of these amazing decades we call a life, and experience and enjoy every single moment. Thank you.